Want your water? No.
Fish do weird things in it. I don't want to.
True.
Yeah, go ahead.
First, I want to thank you, Mike, for talking to us and meeting with us. It's much appreciated.
No problem.
So this is the 12th season of Canada's Worst Driver?
Yes.
12th season. I've never watched the show before I found out that someone from Renfrew was on the show. And because of that, and talking to you in the Walmart lineup, I YouTubed all the first 4 episodes and got caught up. But I want to know, were you a fan of the show before you were on it?
No, I thought it was a joke because I didn't think people were as bad as they portray.
Yeah.
They put you in situations where you are kind of, if you're really, really, really good, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Being through the experience that I had to go through, those guys aren't that bad. They're bad, but
yeah,
you know. So I wasn't a fan, but I had seen a few episodes previous years of my life. So.
So tell me about how the process came from. Did you have to apply to get on the show, or how did that all work out?
My wife's good friend, Craig Wright, realized I needed, because of my brain injury, I needed help to learn what I've lost. And he said, I just put you in for Canada's Worst Driver. So I'm like, you didn't. I'm not a bad driver, I just need help. It's like, that's why I nominated you for help. And it was actually a tough scheduling because there was over 900 applicants for the show. And it was maybe 2 months. He told me, I nominated you for the show. I'm like, yeah, right. They're never going to call because it's just me. And they called me, I think it was on a Wednesday, and I don't recall the number of the day. And they says, you've been nominated to be on Canada's Worst Drivers. I'm like, are you serious? And I'm like, okay. And do you have any problems with that? I'm like, well, no, I guess not. And my buddy had told me that he nominated me, and nobody expected me to
actually get on,
be on TV, if that.
So do you remember the moment when they told you that you were one of the 8? I think it was 8 on it.
No, I wasn't. I didn't know I was on the show.
Okay.
At that first time when they called, they said, you've been elected.
Oh, okay.
You've been nominated to be on the show. And I'm like, okay. You know, you guys, you're not going to get me because there's 700,000 other people that need more help than me. And they called back 3 days later. It says, now you're in the top 20.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay. And I'm talking with Scott, was my the person I interacted with through the proper television TV series. And he says, yeah, you've made it to 20.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, so what's the chances that I'm going to make it to the top 8 out of 20? So that's still 12 people that's got to get better than me. So it must be really bad if I get a call. And then the next day, Thursday, he says, yeah, you are one of our 8 contestants. Or it's not contestants because you're not competing to be the worst. You want to get the help. And so he says, yeah, okay. And then we started arranging the transportations, methods, and because I had to go to Welland, which is near Niagara Falls, and it's 7-hour drive or an hour flight to Toronto, and then it's an hour and a half from Toronto to Welland. So let's just drive. No, and my wife's like, no, we can't drive. I don't want to go on that freaking 401. Mind me if I keep babbling over.
No, that's good. It's good. So, what made you decide that this was a for sure thing you wanted to do?
Well, based on my injury, being asleep for 7 weeks and having to relearn from a baby at the age of 30, I knew that I wanted to stop hurting my possessions, my vehicle, whatever have you, and I never really had the idea of retraining for driving. And once they said you've been nominated and you're on the show, I'm like, okay, then let's get this help that I need. Because there's a couple people on the show for this 12th season that I don't think they want to be there. But I can't go into details on that. So
it's like, from watching the first 4 episodes, I felt like you were the only one that actually wanted to get help and wanted to learn. It seemed like a lot of the other contestants were kind of, I don't know, just there to be there. Do you feel like that was kind of true, or?
No, Lou, she's an older lady, the first-time licensed driver. She needs the help.
Yeah.
Cody was the first graduate. I'm really upset about that. But yeah, he lives in Manitoba, and so that doesn't control my life. But Crystal is insane. She's the bigger girl with the crazy driving attitude. Daniela had her parents drive and transport her everywhere she needed to go, so she never had the real driving experience. And because I've had 17 years experience, I knew what to expect from driving. And I think I might have lost your question. Sorry.
That's all right. I think you answered it. So since you've been back and since the shows have started to air, what's the response that you've gotten from people in Renfrew? Has it been all good and any negative? Or what's the response you've got?
The response has been really good because I think I'm portraying myself as somebody. Well, I didn't portray myself as anything but me.
Yeah.
But someone who wants to learn and get better at what they do. And I don't want to be the person that's responsible for my family getting hurt. And I go to Walmart, Tim Hortons, local establishments, and people are like, how come you're driving? Why are you driving? You're the worst driver. I'm like, well, I don't know. We'll find out when the season's over. If I'm that bad and I lose,
But the most powerful part of the show for me was when you did sit down with Cody and talk about what you went through, and your wife talked about what she went through in the accident. Are you hoping that your story will reach people and make people think differently about how they drive?
Well, it's one person out of I don't know how many 26 billion people live in Canada. If I have the effect that I'm not really wanting to affect anybody but myself. But if my story helps people understand that driving is dangerous and they should be cautious and concerned about what they're doing, that's all that I can get out of it, and make sure that whoever is driving safer because of my story and being on a show looking for the help that I'm hopefully getting or have gotten.
What was your favorite part about being on the show?
My most favorite part was the 16 people, because there's 8 drivers and 8 nominees. We were all, we became friends. And I don't know too many people from Winnipeg and Manitoba, Alberta, It's not like I go there every day, so those people are new contacts, and it's nice to meet new people that have some type of issues related to their driving, which just brought us together, and that really made me, I'm not the only one.
Driving the Mustang must have been fun too, eh?
Oh, that thing's got balls. I got a 5.7 Hemi, and my truck cannot keep up to that car.
Yeah.
No, because they're different types. One's a truck, it's a workhorse, and one's a race car.
Yeah. That looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was made me want to go get one, but my wife said no.
The course that you had to do where there was like the 5 gallons of water on the top.
Yeah,
of
the water challenge.
The funniest moment for me watching the whole show was when your wife says,
I gotta pee.
I gotta pee. But was there any fun to that challenge, or was it all just kind of like cold and scary?
Well, the water was definitely cold, and it was very hot. We're in the middle of June.
Yeah.
And as soon as 50 liters of water falls on your head, you're in shock. So that was startling, not being able to see because you got a pot full of water on your head. But you don't want to be the guy that's soaked, but you happen to be, because I'd like to see a good person be able to do it.
Yeah, I was saying that earlier today. I'm like, I think I would struggle with that.
Yeah,
But
no, you gotta brake and pedal control is something that I had the ability to learn a little bit of, that I can continue with my daily driving with better pedal control.
would you ever consider doing any other reality shows like a Survivor or Canadian Amazing Race?
No, I'm not in any shape for that stuff.
Are you done with reality TV?
It wasn't my choice to be on the show. I was nominated to be on the show. I did what I had to do. I accomplished what I could with the help of the show, and I'm waiting to find out how it turns out.
My girlfriend was bugging me to ask this, but the relationship between you and your wife, you guys really seem to be like a really strong couple, and so she wanted to know like a little bit how you guys met, how long you guys been together, a little bit about that.
Well, we've been married for she's gonna kill me if I don't get it right, 9 years. And we were we knew each other our first date, we went to the movies together, and we ended up at the Civic Hospital instead.
What happened?
I got a head-on car accident.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
And because of what we've been through our injuries,
yeah.
Nobody would put up with me because I'm not really that, I don't know how to word it.
Yeah.
But I went through a huge, at the age of 30, I had to relearn how to do everything. It took maybe about 6-7 years before things became supposedly normal. I don't know what's normal for you or me is completely different, I'm sure. But I like to say to her, yeah, well, I almost killed you, so you might as well stay with me. Because she was my passenger in the car.
Yeah.
She was hurt pretty much worse than me. I just have a head injury.
Yeah.
She has a reconstructed face. Her tailbone was snapped. She's got nerve damage, so she really got, I'd like to say the worst end of the stick, but I know that's not true because I had to go through what I did.
Yeah.
So it's just somebody I knew, previous injury that I was trying to get to know better, and the hospital brought us together.
Yeah. I guess you know, some good came out of it, but not the way you want it to happen.
No, not at all. I could dredge on my life and get really negative because I've had a rough one. I wouldn't want my worst enemy or my best friend to have to go through what I've had to go through to be as supposed good as I am.
Yeah.
There's always better, and tomorrow will be better than today, and yesterday was not as good as today, and that sort of thing.
I'm really glad that I happened to be behind you in the line.
Yeah.
Because when I had seen about the show, I knew I wanted to approach you and see if we can do an interview, so kind of just worked out that way. So I want to thank you for talking to us, and I think it's time for us to eat. Cool?
I haven't eaten yet today. I've been starving myself all day. Free food's awesome.
Yeah, and now we're at Shetland Buffet.
Yeah.
All right, we're good. Okay, get closer, You got me in shot.
Yeah, you got it.
What do you call a cow with no legs?
With no legs? A cow with no legs. I don't know.
Ground beef.
Oh, you got it.
Nailed it, Liam.
That was awesome.